Hey everybody, it's Bust with Expedition Trial number 307. And I did want to make a last announcement for our Twitch stream this weekend. This weekend being April the 17th and 18th. We'll be streaming some expeditions on twitch.tv/ftpbust, starting at 1 o'clock Central, running till at least 4 o'clock Central, maybe later, but definitely not shorter. And so if you'd like to come by and say hi or play with us or what have you, we will certainly be there. So let's get this trial going. I hoped this goose egg turned into a good video, but it didn't. It was a Teemo and Swain deck, and it just didn't quite get itself together. So let's see. I guess we can come in here and play this Slayers Kindred. If people want to see how salty we can ultimately get before determining whether or not they want to come and watch a Twitch stream, I think that Slayers Kindred is probably the way to do it. And so we'll dive in there. If you're looking to just go for 7, it is the strongest champion, but not the strongest card pool in my opinion. I think this Garen is just super strong now. I don't know if I can push myself to say that Garen's a tier 1 champion, but Garen and Jarvan being together with these really powerful elites pools is definitely super strong right now. But we're cool. We'll take this Kindred. The last Kindred trial I did was the ultimate Salt Fest. As you may not be aware, I hate that Kindred exists in Expedition. We took it all the way to the final battle and then lost to another Kindred deck in the final battle, and it was quite the Salt Fest. But let's see what we can do here. So we're going to be over on the site, ftpbust.com. If you're not familiar with it, it's where I keep all of my expedition-related content. We're just going to be on the main page or on the little Expedition Helper button. We'll scroll our way to the drop-down box, make our way down to Kindred, and take a peek at what's happening here. And so, yeah, the thing with Kindred is this is just he's the strongest champion in the game, in my opinion. This ability of his, that, first time you slay a unit, that's when you kill it in combat, or you kill it with a damage spell, say Black Spear, or you kill a unit with just a removal spell like Vengeance, counts as a slay. He puts the mark on your opponent's weakest unit and then kills that unit at the end of the turn. And as you could imagine, in limited formats, just having a free reusable removal spell every turn of the game is a pretty powerful ability. And so, he even, if you go to his flip, he generates a way to protect himself, generate more slays. Just all around, everything that anyone could ever ask for in a champion happens from Kindred, unless you like to play aggro decks such as myself. Personally, I'd rather play LeBlanc, but it is what it is. Some people like control decks for some reason, and so what this really amounts to is. We plan on just killing our own units, but we don't really have to put much effort into that. Just getting into combat is enough to get slays. Your opponent can only ignore your combats for so long. And so you don't have to do a lot of work. And so what the other thing that this deck kind of finds is it has a lot of these kind of kill your own units kind of themes. It's the way you're supposed to get additional slays, but you'll see it in Fading Icon. And he kind of leads us to kind of the trifecta of good sacrifice units. And so the thing that we'll be looking to piece together here are Hapless Aristocrat. That's the 1/1 that Last Breath to put a Spiderling into play. We'll be looking for Fading Icons, which is the unit we have in the picture. And we'll be looking for Cursed Keepers. This is the 1/1 that can't block with Last Breath. It dies to put or Last Breath to put a 4/3 unit into play. And so with the combination of these three, we now have enough units that we can reliably have something to sacrifice, and then we can just build on that, ideally with Blighted Caretakers. Blighted Caretaker is the strongest way to come out here and take advantage of killing off our own units, but we can also look to take advantage of things like Spirit Fiend, Spirit Journey, Spirit Leech. There we go. to draw some cards, or Mask Mother to just generate a big unit. But all in all, the big thing that we're going to be trying to do is just stall out the game until we can get Kindred online. Then once Kindred is online, it should just be a matter of making sure something dies every turn before we eventually card advantage our opponent out of the game. And so let's see. We'll take the Kindred. Not a bad start. We've already got the kind of game ender and Atrocity. And then who do we want to pair with that? Kind of interested in the Garen. He's not going to play to the kill your own units theme, and I really don't like Vault of Hellia, but the Grand Plaza does play fantastically here. If we're trying to just guarantee that we get a unit killed every turn, the Grand Plaza is a great way to do it. I don't like pursuing a Azir with this. The Golden Ambassador we're just never going to pull the allegiance off on. We would rather this be like a Nasus or a Renekton, so we get advantage to all of the other vulnerable cards. And so we can let that one go, and then we're not going to get combos with this Ezreal. If you're the Ezreal, he pairs up with Thresh and plays this kind of classical, one for one removal spell deck. Maybe get a little bit of card advantage, and then eventually win with either a flipped Ezreal or just some big dude. But the targeting effects that you would need with Ezreal don't really live with Kindred. Kindred is more about playing like Chronicler of Ruins to kill your own units, or playing Ether Fiend, or playing Blighted Caretaker, and not so much about targeting things with spells. And so I think we'll be okay with this Grand Plaza Garen. I think we can make something work out of this. So we'll get the Vault of Crowns pulled up. I'm not a humongous fan of this card pool, but it has a lot of the things that we can try to pull off here. And so, kind of the idea of Vault of Crowns is, I don't know, they put landmarks, I guess. I guess these are relevant as far as League of Legends lore goes. But whenever I typically talk about these Vault of Crowns decks, I think you either really look to build around the Grand Plaza, or you look to build around the Vaults of Helya. It's not shown in the picture here, but that's the thing. It's 5-mana landmark. Kills your most expensive unit at the start of the turn and replaces it with one that's more expensive. The big problem we run into that with, if you watch us play Lab of Legends and talk about it in the Thresh thing, is there's just a lot of units we don't want to actually have come into play, right? Ideally, you would just be upgrading into a bigger statted unit or something, but it's so easy to just like hit a Blighted Caretaker or hit a Chronicler of Ruin in the 4-mana slot that you just aren't really actually upgrading anything. And so I tend to want to just go and trade it away, and then playing towards the Grand Plaza is pretty decent. It's not too hard to find a way to really take advantage of a challenger. And so, the problem here with this pool is it doesn't have like a lot going for it thematically. Like, we're happy to pick up Egghead Researchers as just an early game play, kind of same with the Conservator, but there's no like, hey, what am I doing to make my units better here? Like, you're supposed to be being like, oh, cool, we've got this Grizzled Ranger. The Vault of Helya is going to kill it and turn it into a Radiant Guardian, and I'm going to have a leftover Loyal Badger Bear. Like, that's what you're supposed to be doing, but it doesn't really play out in practice. And so, not a whole lot of cards that we're actually looking for here. Other than like number one, this doesn't push us into additional factions. Number two, we got the Grand Plaza, which is still pretty powerful, and then number three, Thresh is a Shadow Isles champion, and so we'll probably have to suffer through a lot of these Vault of Crowns Thresh packs. But at the worst, it does have Blighted Caretaker in this pool, has Crumble, which plays well to the Kindred themes. The Rekindler can be kind of okay with Kindred, and that he's such a high value unit for our opponents to kill, and then Chronicler of Ruins and Activator, Cursed Keeper lives here. There's things on the Thresh side of this card pool that can do some interesting things. So let's see how it plays out. Kind of interesting start, because I don't want two atrocities. I do want Hapless Aristocrat, but then I also kind of really want this Sharpsight Vanguard Redeemer. I think these are who we're going to just come over here and take. We can ignore these Shurima cards, but the Redeemer is pretty on point as far as these themes go. I'd much rather play Vanguard Redeemer as a card advantage engine as opposed to, say, like a Spirit Leech. It just tends to affect the board a little bit more. And then Sharpsight is one of the premier combat tricks. And so these are kind of okay. I do really want to pursue this Hapless Aristocrat Warden's... I keep wanting to call it Warden's Prey, but those 3 sacrifice units we talked about earlier. Okay, and here's a much better way to pick up a Hapless Aristocrat with a ping and Unspeakable Horror. Very powerful little set of cards. Okay, and then how do we continue? I'm pretty okay with picking up Mage Seeker Conservators. Like, the big thing with those 3 sacrifice units we talked about, the big thing with them is, like, it leaves a unit on the board. And so what we kind of run into is, say, like, we really want to play Blighted Caretaker on 3, and so we played a 1-drop on 1, and then our opponent just, like, makes it rain. Now it comes back into turn 3, and we don't have a unit to sacrifice, and we can't do it. But with these things that put multiple units on the board, we kind of have some protection, and we can interact with our opponent in the early game, and it doesn't really leave us in a spot to where that happens as commonly. And so the reason that whole aside came about was like Mage Seeker Conservator looks like a good unit to be sacrificing since it gives you some value and replaces itself, but it's not as ideal as, say, a Hapless Aristocrat. But nonetheless, these are the ones I'm going to take. We do need to make sure that we find like a little bit of top end here, and Stalking Broodmother's a reasonable piece of top end. We'd prefer to have something with Overwhelm, but you know we can't have it all the time. Okay, so this is our last chance to pick up Shurima, which we do not want to do. And then this is like a real turdy set of cards across the board. I think we're just gonna have to take like this Frenzied Skitterer. We're just not gonna have any combos with a Confront. Redoubled Valor, it could be okay, but like we just win the game with Kindred. We don't need to make like Kindred into a big unit to make him reasonable. Like if we were playing like Lux or something, then fine, Redoubled Valor's okay, but I don't think it's going to get a lot of work out of this deck. But you know, it wouldn't be unreasonable to assume that we'll also find one Radiant Guardian, I guess. So we can take these. I just don't want to be putting Risen Mists into this deck. Dang, these packs are awkward. Quit trying to give me confronts. I think we just take the Conservator and the single combat again. I don't think we're like shaping up to be a very good Mask Mother deck, and I don't want multiple atrocities. And so Battlefield Prowess isn't a real card. Confront's garbage. We can just completely ignore these. So at least we're getting a removal spell out of this. Okay, the Hapless Aristocrat Unspeakable Horror is another pretty good set. Okay, what do we think about Unyielding Spirit? We want to just Unyielding Spirit a Kindred and say, say what up everybody, come and enjoy what we're doing here. But I think that could be okay. The Brightsteel Protector, even if we don't play it for the barrier ability, can still be we're always happy to play a 3 attack 2-drop. So we'll pick up the raw power here. Okay, here we go. A couple sacrifice units, perfect. We don't really need any more Hapless Aristocrats at this point. I won't be mad if we end up with one, but that's not a real necessity. Okay, I would love to pick up some Egghead Researchers, but not for a Scribe of Sorrows. This tends to just put a bunch of garbage back into your hand that you don't want. Then we're good with the Unspeakable Horror, Black Spear. Nice little removal spells. Okay, so a little interesting. I don't think we want the Riposte or the Green Fang Warden. We're just kind of counting on our units to die with the Grand Plaza. We don't have enough scouts to make like Riposte, Grand Plaza combos really work. So, you know, if we're going to get one of these card draw spells and Glimpse Beyond Spirit Leech, I think I want to tack on the Vile Feast here. So we're pretty good as far as these like pings and kind of middling removal go. We would still really love to find a Crumble or two or a Vengeance or two just to kind of have the guaranteed removals. So here, we don't really need any more Hapless Aristocrats. I'd be okay with the Mask Mother, but I think we need these interactive units here in the Chronicler and the Vanguard. Okay. So I don't like using this possession kind of theme. Like you can kind of get how this goes, right? You steal your opponent's unit and then kill it with Chronicler of Ruin or something. It tends to be a little tough to pull off. And then even in this deck, we don't have a whole lot of sacrifice cards. We passed on the Glimpse of the Unthinkable. We have the one Spirit Leech with the one Chronicler. This would give us a second Chronicler. Are the Chroniclers ever any good here? We have the 2 Conservators, 1 Cursed Keeper, so we're to 3 Reasonables. Vanguard is 4. Spirit, you're sort of right, sort of like a 5 with the Vanguard. Maybe. Just the big card I'm like interested in out of all of these is Sharp Sight. This is just such a good combat trick. I think we'll be okay to take this. Okay. Oh man, just picking up a second Grand Plaza? Okay. Okay. Don't get me wrong, it's not nearly as good as it used to be, but still extremely powerful here. I mean, just playing even like a Mage Seeker Conservator and trying to trade it into something is quite powerful. And so I think this is cool. I think this is good. Okay, then as usual, we do have to go and turn something premium. I can't look at the deck list anymore and just remember what what we haven't turned premium, and so let's just pull up Demacia Shadow Isles. We'll put it onto the units in common, then we'll try to find us a non-premium card that's really going to really affect our chances of winning here. As you can tell, most everything is already premium. So are any of these cards in our deck? Miss you, Laurent Protege. You should show up in Expedition more. Oh, Spirit Leech, found one. Okay, there we go. So we'll find a way for Spirit Leech to be ultra relevant in this trial, but as the only the only common unit in our deck that is non-premiumed, you know, you got a lot riding on your shoulders, my friend. So I hope you're able to step up to the challenge here and be as important as we expect you to be. Man, we need these new cards to come out, or I'm gonna run out of commons. gotta have to start upgrading rares. I think we got like 2 or 3 weeks. Depends on how the patch schedule rolls out. I think it should be the 2.6 patch should have been the last patch of whatever we're calling this, Empires of the Ascended, whatever the initial Shurima expansion is supposed to be called. So the new ones are coming out soon. Okay, so with this, I just want to find more units. If we had another unit, then I would be kind of okay with keeping a single combat or a sharp sight, but we just need more dudes here. We need to be able to get on the board and do something. Okay. I could see an argument for just passing here. Because, like, what if our opponent plays Rockhopper? We don't really care about this point of damage that we just dealt, but you know, given how bad our hand is at this stage, it would be pretty good to play Mage Seeker Conservator into the Rockhopper, eat the landmark, and then have the Unspeakable Horror for his unit. Didn't pan out like that. That's fine. He didn't have the unit anyways, but.
Want to meet whatever woke you up. I turn it like so.
Okay. We can't get something better out of this. I'm going to attack and just see if he comes in and blocks for some reason. It sucks to pass with all this mana up, so may not be able to play the Redeemer, but he's on board with that. Ooh, Battle Fury. Battle Fury's coming out of nowhere, huh?
What face that you make? I am worried about portals, paradoxes, time skips, the void.
Okay. Can interact with this pretty favorably. And then I'm gonna. I don't want to just be drawing the card with the Redeemer now. We don't need to just be drawing cards at this stage. I plan on doing something with Cursed Keeper here.
No time to waste.
Do we ever need this to just like survive? Probably do. Okay. We still have like the backup single combat if things go like really weird here, but I think this will be okay. Sure. Ooh, Grand Plaza. Not this turn, unfortunately. Some big plays we could make if we'd had to Grand Plaza on the board there, but it was not meant to be.
If I stumble, I have
Uh-oh.
to catch me.
We should probably just bank that.
For our allies.
Don't touch it.
Interesting. Why would he leave our unit on the board? The only AoE that they would have would be Spirit Fire. Okay.
Now we can finish what was begun.
Big old dude. What's this? They predicted that both times? Must be nice.
Petricide, protect me.
The weapon and I are one.
Got fearsome? That's not cool.
You'll go no farther.
Okay.
Injustice.
Contain magic.
Ooh. Okay, vengeance. Okay. But all right, let's see what we can do here. Didn't leave ourselves with like a good single combat to do something with this Cursed Keeper, but definitely need to kill this to get the 5-attack challenger to try to take down Kahiri. No, because we're just going to play the Crescent Guardian and hit Talia. So let's do it like this. Where are you at? Where'd you go single combat? Let's hit this thing. She's not going to like surprise flip or anything. Okay.
I'll drag you out of there if I have to.
That's fucked up, dude. Okay. Did it change anything? I don't think so. Rockhopper. Okay, okay. So now he could have like the +1 health. Or the Radiant Strike, whatever the Shurima Radiant Strike's called. Doesn't seem like he's really been playing to that, but something he could have. So let's just go ahead and do it like this. This. Okay. And then maybe next turn we can just kill him with Battle Fury. If we want to Battle Fury a Crescent Guardian or something.
Betrayal buried Shurima. Hope revived it.
Okay.
What a shame for you!
Oh, I'm going to get him.
Judgment awaits.
He actually pulls a blocker in front of Nasus. Okay. Okay, I think we're okay for this Battle Fury play. This is 8-13. This would be 11 into Rock Bear, and then we have a backup Sharp Sight should we need it. To 0. Nice. That's how you get him good. That's how you get him good, right? That Battle Fury in there. Saved up to my Freylord cards. Alright, cool. Always feels good to win games without drawing Kindred. And here we go. It's a good one. Coming with the Blighted Caretaker. Works for me. Alright, it's feeling pretty good. I did this thing. I've been having issues with like the chair mat, the mat that my chair sits on. Like this is the first time I've had it on like thicker kind of carpet. This is not. We could again so much Talia today. We could arguably keep the horror against what's probably a Rockhopper deck, but I think we need units. But no, it's like the mat had always been fine, but I'd never been on like thickish carpet. I've always been on like hardwood or just like shitty carpet that you put in a basement. Like it's getting real annoying because the mat was starting to break down. And so I just did the thing where I got like a sheet of plywood and then put a it's just like really cheap like laminate on top of it, and then so now it's like I just got this really sturdy base. I've been pretty happy with this. Nice little upgrade to the the seating situation. It's like getting back to sitting on normal flooring.
We can't finish if we never begin.
Okay, so I think this is probably safe-ish. If he gets the +3/+1 on it, then kind of fine, whatever. But I think the big argument to not do that there would just be wanting to keep mana banked coming into this Kindred turn. I think he should be relatively safe. The only card that they have that can interact with Kindred is a Nasus Strike, so I think he should probably be pretty safe. But I'd like to see him spend mana down below 5.
Are you afraid of anything,
Okay.
Kadira? You're navel gazing because it never ends. Huh.
Let him get this attack in, and then we'll play Kindred.
Let me see. Stand strong. You'll be forgotten.
Never one.
Without the other.
Alright, we can start doing cool stuff now. So many unspeakable horrors into so many 1 health units. I'm on board with this.
What's that noise?
Okay.
Its heart beats fast now.
It knows.
It knows.
Oh no.
Alright, seems like this should be pretty good from here on out. We would love to have like a Vengeance or a Crumble or something here, but
That's the baton. We have
he doesn't even have why? Why does he do this? Is he gonna Nasus Strike? That makes him 6/6. Works for me. You want to make the 12/12? No, that doesn't seem too necessary. I think we'll get enough going with just the dragon here. Maybe next turn or something, right? Okay. Grand Plaza.
That egg. Did it
Alright,
move?
seems fine.
For our allies.
I think we're in what people typically call a pretty good spot. We got enough work out of that Kindred, right? We took 2 cards and took 4 of his, 4 of his. So nice little advantage.
Victory is whatever.
Tired of these people playing desert naturalists on our Grand Plazas. It's so weird playing against so many Talias today.
I will find a future for Acacia.
Maybe. Sherma doesn't have removal spells that are relevant here, right? Check out how big my bro is now. He's ready for battle. Yeah, I think we should be able to card advantage this out from this point forward.
We stand in the footprint.
Our unit is bigger than Nasus.
We will not hesitate.
Gotta do something like this. These 1/1s aren't going to get very favorable combats here. Spiritfire's fine. Nasus can grow a little bit here. There's some slays happening. So he's going to go up to 8. We need to Pale Cascade him.
Ah, I see you.
What happens here? This looks okay. Right, what's Nasus, or Garen's just going to end at 8 health and then take 2 damage. That's not a big deal. Okay.
What's that noise?
I don't think we want to kill off any of these units, though. Just want to make some blockers. Okay.
Stay resolute.
Dude, Riot. Come on. But look at this. What's even going on here? There, fixed. Okay. couldn't see my Garen stats. He was overlapped with the Aristocrat. Ooh, he's still gonna die, isn't he? Oh, he's the strongest first, right? Yeah. Okay.
Life and death inexorably interwoven.
So can we even take this Nasus hit here? How bad is this? It's gonna give our Garen neg attack, but he can start trying to block and stuff now. We just have to take the 12 hit.
Protect me.
This too shall end. All are measured.
You'll go no farther.
You just be sending these face. How do we feel about that? Probably not. We could probably just get... We're going to get 2 units off of these. We can just get wide. To Dusk isn't quite what we were looking for. Confront, though. Alright, okay. We just get wide enough now that he doesn't have very many cards.
What do you sense, Guardian? I smell would-be thieves.
Draw 1. Activate an ally's Nightfall effect. Nightfall, create a copy. Sure. But okay.
Break their minds, flay their souls, eyes everywhere. Break their minds, flay their souls.
Where does this get us? Right? We're gonna be 2 damage short. Or 1 damage short.
What do you sense?
Really?
Guardian?
that's a collection of units for sure. So what happened? How do we ever win this game? Has to be just like being wider than him, but we're just gonna die next turn. We don't have any blockers for this stuff. If we don't, even if we protect, well, I think here's what we probably have to do. We probably have to protect. Then we can use this thing to block Nasus. And then his attacks aren't as good. But this is still pretty bad for us.
No more trespassers.
Hold fast.
Okay, that worked out fine.
Press the advantage.
I'm enlightened. Why doesn't this pick a unit in your hand, reveal what the unit costs? Okay, whatever. So, we can at least... Whatever, we'll go ahead and play this stupid thing. And then we'll be banked up to 3. So now we're kind of back to a spot to where we can hook 2 units. And so, a little bit closer. Rock Bear's great for us.
Take flight.
Should we have saved this? I can't remember if this is if it's 0 forever or 0 till the end of the turn.
Crack their bones, see what's inside.
Okay. 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 Alright, dude, you've shown us enough. That was just not meant to be.
Defeated, but never broken.
Maybe. Maybe it would have been better if we protected our Kindred and didn't play that dragon that one turn, but... Dang. Anywho. So I think... I mean, I'm happy just to get rid of the Confronts. 4 Unspeakable Horrors is quite a bit, but Confront's just such a terrible card. I'm glad to just get the overall upgrade here. Let's get to it. Can't be having a 1-winner Kindred run, so we gotta we gotta get at least 2 wins, right? Okay. Silverwing Vanguard may be okay here. It's kind of expensive, though. Here, this dude's going to be doing something pretty similar to what we were doing with this Thresh Demacia. He's probably playing the Grand Plaza Vault of Crowns thing.
Help! Somebody help! Keep moving.
We weren't expecting callers.
I ran
Okay.
as fast as I could.
He didn't, did he? No, he only has the 1 banner, so he didn't even have an elite the first turn. Is that right? It's weird.
We protect these woods as they protect us.
I don't think we like super care about this stuff here. We've got plenty of time with how these turns are rolling out.
Stop.
There.
Sure, you can level up your Bark Beast now.
My message.
Are you willing to just run this Kindred out all naked, or do we feel the need to get some Cursed Keepers going? I think we probably just play for value here. You don't even have to run him out next turn. We can just run out the Vanguard.
What does he want from me?
Which I'm kind of okay with. Got this nice and delicious full board. And he's just gonna be like, it's just gonna like slay a unit in combat to initially start with, and so I think it's okay to wait a few turns for him. Okay, ours was a lot better. Now this looks like a board the Kindred is much better on, right? Right? And he just has like 0 or 1 units, and then we play Kindred as opposed to him having like all of these little turds that nobody cares about. I think that's much better. Are you gonna like play a riposte or something? Like, it doesn't seem very worthwhile. Box. Okay. So, not awesome, not horrible. Dude's just being really sketchy here. Wow.
I gotta get out!
Prince Jarvan! Thank goodness you're all
Okay.
right!
Steady yourself, Squire. There is fighting to do.
Please, I have connections!
Alright, that seems like a effing fantastic turn for us. Effing fantastic. Okay, let's bank going into this Kindred turn.
Never one.
Without the other.
Vengeance, yeah. Fine. Dude out here not having fun.
Take a look at this. What's that noise?
Nothing escapes my notice.
Okay, but hopefully from the card advantage standpoint, we're okay. We've drawn kind of like all the bottom end out of our deck. We still have, you know, this priestess and such going, and so this is okay.
I'll take him dead or near enough.
This is Challenger Shark Chariot. Oh snap! I guess he can give it some gems now. I don't really want him giving this +2 attack. There we go. There's an Eclipse Dragon. What a fucking game! Why wouldn't you give it a gem? Okay. It seems like an oversight. I'm not gonna Unyielding Spirit this collector with just to get the Eclipse Dragon going. Why isn't he playing cards? Fine. Withering Wail. Oh man, we got it. We got owned there. Dang, I was not expecting Withering Wail. I was more worried about the Ruination coming out. He boozled us, guys. He boozled us. Overthunk it.
I've got your back. My steel is yours.
Okay.
Come on.
Alright, the Traveler is slightly awkward in that we can't get the Eclipse Dragon going, but I think we're just going to be out here generating a ton of value. We got the Grand Plaza on the board, so I think this is just fine. Cosmic Inspiration on board.
I've become who I was always meant to be.
Doesn't kill our Traveler. This should be pretty good. Playing a card. What the hell? Oh no, is he gonna have a removal for our Traveler? Oh no. Oh no. Fuck.
Return anew.
Alright. All the vengeances, apparently. Dude just doesn't like to have fun.
Smell that? A fight's a-cooking. A
Really
delicious challenge.
love to get a combat trick here. Sure.
Eat up, friend.
Alrighty. Well, things continue. I think we're still in a pretty good spot. Just not letting us do cool things. Because dude doesn't like to have fun. But there's only so much you can do about that, right? There's only so much you can do.
Everyone's a garden.
Only taking 4. Probably never get a better one though. Still have the Black Spear if he has a real unit here. I think this is fine to just pass. We can try to get Kindred going. We're not like super worried about our health total right now.
Shall we, dear wolf?
I'm ready, little lamb.
This dude gonna have another vengeance. Okay.
The hunt begins.
Come on.
Sure. It's more problematic. All right, Kindred, that was not a successful run for you this trial. It'll be okay. Let's stop and make sure we're not going to deck ourselves. This game's gone on forever. Do we want to go ahead and Black Spear this thing? Probably not. I think we just play like Envious Vox and then put a Redoubled Valor on it. Or can we just kill with this thing? This will be at 12. We can't play both cards in the same turn.
This world is finished.
He's not gonna see this coming. We're gonna get him. Buddy, why are you spreading those out? Good. We do also have to remember we have Redoubled Valor plus Atrocity, and so can go to face for a big chunk of damage, like a Nautilus chunk of damage here. Dude's got something, but this. Ooh. Oh, we're just gonna get it. We're just gonna do it. Okay. Gonna box us twice. Brood Mother. Okay, alrighty. Things are looking up. This Atrocity's ready to go. What a game.
Bertrand, quickly to me. I'm gonna need
Where'd it
more
go?
coffee.
Alright. That took forever. That's okay. People are gonna see this like 2-win trial with Kindred, but they're gonna see that the length of the video is like an hour and 15. They'll think we just 7-won it. Alrighty, what do we do here? Never trading out the Grand Plaza. Getting rid of Vile Feast is fine. We have enough of these 1-damage pings with Unspeakable Horror. I would actually like to get rid of an Unspeakable Horror, and so Grizzled Ranger, pretty reasonable pickup. Plays fantastically with the Grand Plaza. Get that scout attack in, challenge something down, last breath into the Badger Bear, take something else down. Good stuff. No, I can't remember. I got to talking. I can't remember if I finished talking about my chair mat, just piece of plywood with some peel and stick laminate on top of it. It's kind of like having a nice little floor on top of this carpet. Pretty sweet. It's been comfy all day. It's about as handy as I can get. It is moderately embarrassing. It's like there's like some like random DIY guides on the internet. None of them are spectacular, but you know, you really just figure you're just putting, you know, a sticker on top of a board and you're done at the end of the day. But it's like I knew that you could take it to Home Depot, or like at Home Depot you could say like, hey, cut this board for me. But I thought I could fit like a 4x4 board in my car, and then I could just like adjust it at home. So like I bought a saw, and then it was like, so I bought the board and a saw and like some other associated necessities. and then I couldn't get the board in my car, and so I was like, "Fuck, I'm not dealing with this. I'm just going to go buy 2 little boards so I don't have to interact with another human." And so it was like those fit in my car and everything, and then it was like I realized I was going to have to like hook those 2 boards together. Just immediately like, "Fuck, this is awful. This is awful. I should not have done this." And so I had to take the 2 boards back, return them. So I returned the initial board, returned the 2 replacement boards, and then I just decided to interact with the human and get the 4x4 cut down to a 3x4. Now we're here. We're good. It's so nice these days. If you have to go to Home Depot, you get the Home Depot app and it tells you where everything is, and you don't have to interact with humans. It was just all my plans were dashed so quickly. The level of interaction was so high. All right. Anyways, enough home improvement stories aside. We'll get back to Runeterra here. My opponent not doing a whole lot. It's weird seeing them play Mobilize. Now seeing him make some kind of Diana play on my turn. Why is he doing all this on my turn? Or at least the Diana portion.
Head to the face.
Follow the tracks.
I cannot turn back.
Can't fight on an empty stomach.
I mean, she's pretty ignorable, but the extent of this turn is not very intimidating. Could just come in and take 6. It's like, what are we ultimately going to do here? We're going to be playing Kindred next turn, and then we need to have a single combat target, and that should be it. So if we do this, put a damage here, play Kindred single combat one of these units off into the War Chefs, we should get our Slay and be golden. Because it's like how much do we have to worry about here in the sense of him playing Pale Cascade and ruining our turn, right? That's ultimately what would be fairly scary here. But we could also just look to attack with Kindred. He should have a reasonably challenging time to deal with a 4/4 quick attack.
Never one.
Without the other.
When you kill a unit via damage or things, we can just kill our own unit with Glimpse Beyond now. I guess that's the safety net with single combat.
We do not linger.
So what tricks does he ever have here? You could have a riposte, which we can deal with, and that would be the ultimate scary one. I think we can deal with just about everything. So it's just going to push the Slay to Dragon Chow, which is not ideal, but fine. Okay. He might trick out of this. Maybe we should have single combated, but I think this is okay. It's not like the end of the world if, you know, we don't get this Kindred Slay this turn.
You must have some unique insight into dragons.
Most are cruel, vicious, and deadly.
Then at what point do we get to just play Unspeakable Horror on Kindred and say say have fun with this game, boss. I hope you don't have any detains. You can do it next turn.
Suffer my fury.
Sure.
You have to get me out of here.
I think that's okay. It'll take us a while to get this rolling, but it seems like it's going deliciously.
What tidings from the sky?
All the mobilizes, you got it. Wait. Can we not get the Slay with this last turn? What are we missing with this Kindred?
Its heart beats fast now.
Did it not kill the dragon thing last turn, or did he eat it with Shyvana? I think it was a Shyvana thing. Okay. Let's see, lots here can go wrong. There's no two ways around this, though. This either works and we're just pretty set, or it doesn't work, and we're going to have some real problems the rest of this trial. Like, if he had a concerted strike here, that would have been abysmally bad for us. But now we can get some things going with this Kindred. Probably just want to go ahead and take down Diana. Whoa, we don't need you to attack. I guess you can attack.
Tear them apart.
See where that gets us. We can, like, single combat into these big boys. Alright, let's wear him down. Kindred will flip now, right? Okay, he must have ate that dragon chow, and that was what was confusing to me. Nice. So this do we ever care about? Not a whole lot of it. We just need to not die here. So let's just add Doom Beast. I don't even need to add Doom Beast, really. I kind of want to keep the Spirit's Journey ready for action here.
Hours.
Contain magic.
Raise all allies' power to the... Is this thing a keyword? Well, it's probably just quick attack, right? Unyielding Spirit's not a keyword. Okay. Still seems fine. We can just block everything.
Dragons, such fascinating creatures.
I'm standing right here, friend.
I'll follow where I can.
Break them!
Okay, so the things that will happen here, we're gonna block and kill this thing, which is in turn gonna put the mark onto the egghead, who is also just kind of ignorable here. We can do this. I think, well, we probably have to do it this way, right? Gonna take a handful of damage. Mark goes here. Okay. And then Shyvana being flipped is not that bad. Our abilities are better than Shyvana's abilities, so
They will.
I think this is okay. There we go. That's all we needed. We get the redoubled valor atrocity. We don't even need to do it. We just atrocity is only at 9. But
We do not linger.
let's at least give him a chance to spend some mana. We can still do it with the sharp sight plus atrocity this turn. Just deciding how much it sucks to to lose this Shyvana to Kindred here.
Like my blade?
Okay.
Its heart
Ugh.
beats fast now.
It knows.
Okay, that'll do it. Boop. Got him. Enjoy that Kindred, my friend. Enjoy that Kindred.
With grace and precision.
Okay, just taking the third one. Easy peasy. Second Bladed Caretaker as well. Not a bad pickup. Things are looking up as far as our deck is concerned here. So they got the old Anivia in here, but with 2 Azirs. Okay. Not quite sure what we're gonna. I mean, I assume we're gonna be seeing Sand Soldiers come out of here, but I have to imagine if he's playing Elnix or Yetis, he would just be more focused on Anivia. We'll see.
Lady Elise, where are you? No.
Got him. First blood. It's a lot cooler when they were just playing like rock hoppers. They're so much better at just dealing with rock hoppers as opposed to this stuff. Okay. I don't think we need to be like overly aggressive with this Glimpse Beyond here. Whoa. He's been watching the Bust God to Expedition. Look at this guy. Not just taking the damage and taking away our sacrifice outlets. I'm on board, bro. I'm on board with your strategies.
I don't want to meet whatever woke you up.
Confine and contain.
The strategies this guy hasn't picked up on, though, is turning on your card's premium. It's one of the best strategies in the game, right?
Nothing escapes my
Sure.
watch.
I turn it like so.
I don't think we need to play spells here.
You have to get me out of here.
Just take this damage. Or I'm kind of on board with...
Go no farther.
I want to get like an Unspeakable Horror this turn, but I don't want to play any cards anywhere. So... a little awkward. Ugh. Card's just dead. Alright, well, let's cycle through some stuff and see if we hit anything neat. And I think we probably just need to open here. We have the... that's so tough, though, when we have the Green Fang Warden, 4 mana, and 2 Sharp Sights. I think it's just too easy for us to get a very good Sharp Sight this turn.
These old eyes still see far and clear.
Would you look at this place?
Then, how do we feel about trading the Sharp Sight for the Sentry? It's not great, clearly, but the thing being is then he has to play an additional unit if he wants to, you know, get the Diaz online.
Ready, boy?
I think it's probably okay. Well, I mean, what else are we going to get out of this Abomination? Let's actually just trade it. I think we can bank the mana and probably get a better Sharp Sight in the future. Unyielding Spirit on the old Green Fang Warden. He's not the highest value unit for certain, but not 100% opposed to doing this. I'd probably rather just have the 2 mana next turn. Let's just play Cygnus.
A life without freedom is not worth living.
You can trade. This is okay.
Who's with me?
Then we'll get the dragon going next turn.
Away with you, stranger.
Oh, Cloud City.
No, thank you, Weight of Judgment. We're getting it in. We're getting it in there. And we're gonna Unyielding Spirit our dragon before you know it.
Your help brought us here today.
Okay, not just yet, but we're gonna do it. I promise. You've leveled a champion.
Shurima, your emperor.
I was hoping he played he played some kind of removal spell first.
Shurima.
Okay. All right, dragon's ready.
Behold the rewards of your service. Arise.
Each 9 damage if he doesn't attack with a Zir. Then if he doesn't attack with a Zir, we just have always have great blocks with this guy. Vault of 6, that's probably a little too much. Okay.
In Shurima's name. It is time.
Blessings of abundance.
You dare.
You dare, bro. Spirit Fire drops it to 7, so we need to Unspeakable Horror now. Okay. Now we can play the Kindred and hopefully get some good slays going. Doing playing cards. Okay. Oh, hang on. Things just work out sometimes, right? I planned it this way. Planned it. Nice. Nice. Okay. So, not trading out our one atrocity. We're certainly hanging on to that. Just one copy, though. We've been over that. The remitters are kind of okay here, but I think I want to hang on to the leech. We don't have a ton. Well, we have a ton of card advantage in the sense of Unspeakable Horrors, but we do need some kind of like self-slay cards that also draw cards, and just, you know, playing a remitter on a 1 mana unit and turning it into a 3/3 isn't that great. You're really wanting to play remitters more along the lines of things on like Grizzled Ranger, Spirit, Silverwing Vanguards and such. But kind of the way our deck's constructed, we just have a whole lot more of these early game cards that we'd rather just play Spirit Leeches on. Then I don't like single combat's fine. I'm going to hang on to the Warden. It's not great in our deck, but as far as this kind of conditional middling removal is concerned, we have 6, right? We have single combat for Unspeakable Horrors, Blighted, or Black Spear. Then to a degree, if you want to say we have 2 Grand Plazas and Blighted Caretaker, like we have enough kind of middle interaction. We're really looking for vengeances and crumbles that kind of deal with anything ones. So we could skip over this. All right. Doing the old Kindred things. Feels dirty. Dirty. Playing Legion Rearguard feels good. Playing Kindred, not so much. Alright, here's our perfect opponent. It's just, I have to imagine they're in a base Teemo deck. We should. Do we still have 4 Unspeakable Horrors? We dropped down to 3, didn't we? Oh, we still got one. We're never mulliganing this Unspeakable Horror away against a Teemo deck. Should hopefully be a pretty reasonable start. I tend to do, you know, everything I can to not take damage against Teemo decks, and so let's see. If he, I was wanting to see if you know, we could get the Nightfall on Unspeakable Horror and onto his, you know, if you know, it's just like 1 damage on the first turn. Who cares? But we're able to get that on the, you know, full combo of value. That would be pretty cool in my books. We still have a single combat should we need to answer Teemo, so I think this is fine. I would like to get this Brood Awakening down though. So we may just end up passing here. Looks like we will. If he plays a Teemo, then we'll pivot and try to get the Shadestalker going, but alright, here we go. I gotta start counting cards. 2, 4, 6, 8. One of my regs told me that there was a card counter on LOR Guardian. Oh, down here. I saw it. I've seen it. It's right here. At the bottom, we got 8. And looks like the mathematics check out. It's a perfect. You can look down here right over the old FTP bust. This is the card counter from LOR Guardian. You learn something new every day. Nice. Thanks, guy. That's not a sarcastic thanks, guy. That's a appreciated thanks, guy. So, save us a little bit of headache here.
Have a mushroom. Have 3.
Okay. Sure.
There they go.
How do we best handle our Kindred here? I don't think we Kindred yet. I think I'm pretty cool with just getting the Collector going. And then I have to imagine with this game, the longer it goes, the better shape we'll be in. So if we can stall this one out for quite a while, I think we should be pretty safe. And then we can protect ourselves from Longtooth with the old Spirit Journey. So all in all, I think this is pretty good for us. Very powerful Brood Awakening here.
Oh, if mushrooms
Okay.
could talk.
We are going to have some trouble outracing these Puffcat Peddlers, but he at least hasn't he hasn't come down and just you know, started dropping a bunch of Puffcaps. He's playing like real spells to, you know, get these things going, and he hasn't been playing the more damaging, like, you know, Puffcap cards that would be putting 8 in our deck or 11 with the 2 Peddlers. Alright, good. I wanted to save our Black Spears for these Puffcat Peddlers, so I think that's reasonable. It's tough to find a good spot to get this Kindred going. We're looking pretty decent on this board anyways, and so
Time to get rowdy.
I feel pretty okay with this.
I'll recite your rights.
So much Peddlers. So much. Alright, well, let's at least kill one of them.
That's a harvest right there.
starts being a little problematic. We're gonna have to do everything we can to protect the old Neverglade Collector. We're only about a little over damage a turn at this stage, so not the end of the world.
Excuse you.
When crime calls, a reply is proper.
This is a little on the dangerous side. If we're, we're dropping below 5 mana, so we can't Spirit Journey. But the only card that we super have to worry about here is the Thermogenic Beam. So I think we're in a pretty reasonable spot to get a, not have to worry about a beam.
You won't believe what Pilties throw away. Mother Moon, veil me.
And we're definitely not worrying about it now. So that's pretty good. Get pretty lucky on all these Nightfalls. No complaints from this side of the board.
Hide no longer.
Alright, here's where you start doing Kindred things and wearing them out. This should hopefully be pretty tough for this guy to deal with.
I smell prey.
Would a mushroom help?
You dream it, I'll build it. Charged up and ready to go.
Pretty close to the lethals here. We could have perhaps just gone for it. He's at 5, we have Doom Beast and then the Neverglade Collector, but I don't think we're really running into too much trouble here. Refill back to 20, he falls to 3, his attacks are terrible. Kindred's gonna flip. This is looking like
Their pulse fades away.
looking like it should be the end of the road for old player name here for old OMG ABC.
More equipment for the field.
Observe and learn.
Maybe with those hex lens specs, eh?
So what's the safest way to kill him with Atrocity? We probably have some time before we just have to run it out, but I want to play it on Doom Beast, I think. But Doom Beast just dies to a lot of stuff.
Time for a field test. There's another one!
Now it's just what are the chances that he drew Health Potion? Is that something we ever have to worry about? I don't think so. I just don't feel super good about playing Atrocity here. It gets shut down by
Lens specs, eh?
Health Potion when he's added 2 cards to his hand. It gets shut down by a Mystic Shot. I think we're just in too good of a spot to have to risk an Atrocity here when we can just say, single combat something down and then protect our Neverglade Collector with Spirit Journey. And he has to not attack with all this other stuff. Okay, we'll just kill him with the Collector here. Good stuff. Oh,
Approaching suspects.
change of plans, unchange of plans.
Runaway bite!
Okay, then the key thing here is we want our units to be dying. It's not the way you typically want things to go, but it is what we want to have happen here. So I think let's get the trades on his bigs and the littles, and you can go here. Got our spirit journey for you. That should do it. Sad face. I know, my man. I know.
A glimpse of what is yet to come.
Guess if we were paying ultra attention, we could have flipped these so that we'd get the kindred mark on that other thing, but save that for someone better than me. If you could figure out how the left or rights work in this game, then I applaud you. All right. What do we have here? Something to get us ready for this pre-final battle. I don't really want to trade for any of these. I don't feel like we've had a whole lot of trouble closing out games and just don't really need Commander Ladros. Feels like just having Kindred down has been enough. He's gotta turn it into easy mode, but I think we're okay to let him go. I want to hang on to both Sharp Sight, such a good combat trick, and don't want Mask Mother, so we'll skip over these. Yeah, it feels good. Feels like, I mean, Kindred just feels like enough, right? And then we have enough like redoubled Valor targets. It seems like that's all been fine. I've never been in a game where I was like, man, I wish we had more late game between, you know, just spiking an Eclipse Dragon or spiking an Invoke off of the Nightfall cards, and then just having our dudes in general. I think it's all been fine. Okay, the Unspeakable Horror could be kind of interesting here. I assume he's playing a deck pretty similar to ours. He's planning on doing the same thing here. If he has this turn 2 Rockhopper, then I'd love to get the Aristocrat down, have the Aristocrat eat the thing. Doesn't appear to be what's happening.
Lilies, where are you? What's that noise?
Okay, interesting.
No.
What's that? What is the card he ever plays here? Is that like a Glimpse Beyond? Oh, Unspeakable Horror. Okay. I got one too, my man. I got one too. And again, kind of the important things we see out of these is he probably doesn't want to play Blighted Caretaker here, but now he can't, or he can. It's just he's not going to get any value out of it. But say he wanted to play like a Spirit Leech here, he just doesn't have the unit for it. He can't play Mask Mother. Just all in all, pretty crushing to his board. Grand Plaza, big pickup. I am the one playing landmarks. It is I who plays the landmarks. But this is at least a pretty not ignorable amount of damage. He's going to have to do something here. Okay, I'll take the bait. Nice. This guy's only has 2 Kindreds, and so you do have to worry about him having a Rekindler or something. But he's only got one of that guy left.
Tooth and claw.
Okay. Going to chain a bunch of these, so we're just going to take 4 damage, just completely fine. I'll play the Unto Dusk and then Unspeakable Horror, the Marauder, just to make sure that we spend some mana this turn. But then I want to save our units for next turn. And same deal. we'd like to have something to slay or some value to get out of Kindred, but if he wants to play a Spirit Leech, he doesn't have any units now. Kind of a rough spot for him to have to deal with.
Embrace life.
Expect death.
Sometimes you just need the quick attack challengers, right? hopefully that's good enough.
Crack their bones, see what's inside.
Okay. So he'll get around the slays and stuff, but this should still count. That count as an ephemeral? Yeah. And slay doesn't count if ephemerals die in combat or something, right? Self-killing like from ephemeral doesn't count. So that means if like the ephemeral unit attacks, it doesn't count. But Kindred should still get the tick up here. Again, if he has another unspeakable horror or vile feast, it's not hard to kill Kindred with 1 health. That's fine, but he has to make such a huge investment in this when our board is pretty good here. Then I think we're okay.
We go, we go, we go.
This isn't Nightfallen, so it's not going to put another copy in his hand. I've made that mistake dozens of times. So, no hate if that was what he was planning on getting around, but. The answer here as well. So put the thing onto his unit up here since his sapling is growing. I'm not sure how this would play out if he hadn't given his unit plus attack. I was kind of worried about that messing with our Kindred here, but everything worked out okay. Still have a lethal here. Don't just adding the 1 unit doesn't really do anything. I'd rather come in and just add Blighted Caretaker next turn.
Ooh, fresh soil.
This should be enough to do it. There's ways out of it, but this is pretty powerful. Be cool if he just played the Harrowing, or played not the Herring. The Harrowing would not be good. Be cool if he just played a Reckoning. Not the Reckoning, Jesus, the Ruination. There we go. There we go. Alrighty, good game, friend. Okay. So let's get these trades going. So Garen for Lucian, kind of interesting. We have a lot of ways to just kill off our own units, so we'll keep that on the back burner. Don't need black spears. I'm not like opposed to picking up black spears, but not like this isn't like a super high value card. But I think we're cool to switch to Lucian. Just a great early game play. Just can threaten quite a bit. Okay, can't trade out our Atrocity, but Cursed Keeper is right on point. He's going to be. Oh, I thought that was the marked prey. I can't. Cursed Prey, Dollar Prey. I can't remember his name. Anyways, that's fine to pick up here. The Collector is a good piece of top end. Kind of okay with that. We don't have barriers for Cavaliers, so we can ignore this. And then I think ultimately I'm just going to take Captain Erika. We have not seen a single Vengeance or Crumble this trial, and this is our, guaranteed removal spell. Would rather it not be Captain Erika, but that's where we're at today. Now picking him up, what do we think of getting rid of Stalking Broodmother? I like the Broodmother as just kind of our late game package here. I think we're good with the 2 Blighted Caretakers. If we were a 3 Lucian deck, then I would, be on task with this, but I don't think we can do that here. Okay, I'm not trading out my third Aristocrat. I want to keep the Redeemer. Mask Mother, not a card our deck really wants, so we can skip over that one. Then last but not least, interesting. I think we want to trade the Spirit Journey for Ether Fiend just to come in and make sure we have another big removal spell. Not opposed to Radiant Guardians, but I kind of like the Chronicler, especially since we just picked up a second Curse Keeper. And I don't think we need Rasa here. So let's pick up the Ether Fiend. All right, cool. All right, Kindred Final Battles. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's been a Sharma heavy little day. It's weird. I think we played Kindred twice, played Talia twice. I think we played Sharma like 5 or 6 times. But not here at the end. Something with multiple karmas in it. Man, what are we doing today? So, I think this is reasonable. It's kind of I assume that this deck is either like 100% elusives and it just has Callistas in it because they had to take a second champion, or it's going to be more along the lines of a Callista deck, and then they're going to be doing these plays to where, you know, I really want to be able to come in and interact with these early game plays. I think we can just take this one. Right, as much as we talked about earlier, we had that player where we made a big speech about, you know, trying to cancel their spirit leeches. Similar thing here, right? If he plays a Curse Keeper, I'm pretty okay with just kind of like acing it with the Unspeakable Horror. But you know, if that's not how that plays out here, kind of okay with it. Looks like he, you know, if he's trying to piece together a Blighted Caretaker play, this is exactly why, right? I wanted him to make this block. Wanted to kill his unit. I wanted to Unspeakable Horror the Spiderling, and then what's he do with Blighted Caretaker here? He can't do anything with it. So, you know, food for thought. Things that can do. Okay, let's get our Caretaker going at least. Say that this is just going to be, you know, like a big chunk of damage at this dude's face. We'll see if he agrees or not. It's a 6 hit. It's not like super scary, but you know, we gotta get something going here. Okay, let's see what he does. Like, I'm kind of cool with just Unspeakable Horroring this Spiderling now, if it means he's not going to add anything to the board. I'd rather see this thing go as opposed to him just play a Spirit Leech on it. But we'll see. Wouldn't be surprised if this dude's hand is just a bunch of like Chronicler of Ruins and Spirit Leeches and like Neverglade Collectors and clearly not Callistas. And so we'll see how this plays out. It's fine. Go ahead and ace this thing. What do we think if he's? I was gonna say, if he has a Glimpse Beyond, what do we think that we're gonna have happen here? Do we want to like counterspell it but we still get our Nightfall? Not sure how I would have handled that, but I think this seems pretty good for us. I mean, if he's playing Grasp of the Undying on 2/1s, his hand has to be weird. Like, I have to assume that he's got like a lot of Vengeances and just a lot of just expensive dudes. I mean, this is a pretty reasonable go here. We can add the Collector, and then next turn we can Blighted Caretaker Crescent Guardian. So, I mean, I feel like he's probably just going to have to Vengeance our Neverglade Collector, but that's good for us. Let's trade 7 mana for 5. It's not the end of the world. Vengeance that didn't hit our Kindred. Okay, well, let's get this big blast of damage in here. I guess we're gonna get the 5 out of the Crescent Guardian. 5, 6, 12. Looks like it'll be 13ish or so this turn.
What do these yodel eyes see?
And also Unspeakable Horror. That does get us an additional point of damage to the face. Prevents the strike on this thing. Okay. Maybe we'll get him. Probably not. Not if he's playing cards. We're not going to get him, but this is fine. Oh my goodness. Like if he has a Grasp of the Undying onto our 5/3, that's a little unfortunate, but if he's playing like a Vengeance on something, that's pretty spectacular for us. What happens if we Unspeakable Horror this thing now? I guess we'll find out. We still keep our unit? Takes him to 2. Okay. Also the magical Doom Beast land. Ooh, Cloven Way. Very nice. Oh man, I forgot about that. I forgot about our units just going away at the end of the turn. Cool. Alright, this is going to be a pretty tough spot for opponent to climb out of.
Show yourself.
And he just can't even attack. So we can just go ahead and do one of these. Rip. Alright. Good game, friend. From our side of the table, I guess that was a little it seemed like a fairly awkward draw for opponent there. But nice little 7 winner. Lucian was a big help. Glad we picked him up right at the end. And good deal. Nice little trial with Kindred. And so yeah, do want to call out again. I know we have some people that skip all the gameplay. Maybe they just skip to the draft and then skip to the recap. And so if you missed the announcement at the beginning, this is the last time we'll be making it. This Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday being the 17th and 18th of April. We'll be streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/FTPbust. Planning on starting at 1 p.m. Central Time. That is GMT -5. And so I guess that would be like 6 or 7 o'clock for most of the European folks. And then we'll be going for at least 3 hours each day, maybe longer, but definitely not shorter. I have to see how tired it makes me and stuff. But yeah, if you want to come by and say hello or draft along with us, you're more than welcome and be glad to have you. But yeah, so anyways, back to the recap. This was pretty close to a standard Kindred deck as far as the hey, what are we doing differently here? It was definitely the Grand Plaza. Having 2 of them is pretty powerful in the sense that, we would prefer to get our Slays in combat. So I'd rather have, my Cursed Keeper kill your unit. That counts as a Slay, as opposed to just, say, playing Glimpse Beyond on our own unit. Of course, we would rather be playing Vengeance on our opponents for a Slay, but, it doesn't take any effort once you have the Grand Plaza on the board. It's just a matter of, hey, can I play a unit and trade it with something that's pretty easy to get a Slay. And so, it was a nice little thing to build on. Of course, won't see it every time you draft this. Again, like the real key, in my opinion, to this style of deck are picking up your Hapless Aristocrats, your Cursed Keepers, and your Fading Icons. There we go. I remembered it. Fading Icon. And so, like the early game plays are what like really matters here. It's just, as you could see in a lot of those games, we talked about it in a lot of those games, the real strength of just having Hapless Aristocrats, the strength of just full clearing your opponent, like the opposing Shadow Isles decks. These are the units that keep your opponent from doing that to you. And so I hope that this kind of, gave us a little bit of insight as to, both sides of the coin, if you will, as to where we talk about a lot when we're playing against Cursed Keepers and just trying to ace off our opponent's Cursed Keepers so that they can't activate all of their cards. I think that came up for us and our opponents in this trial, and hopefully that really drilled home the importance of these 3 units and just really building your strategy on the back of these. And so I really try to go out of my way to find 3 Hapless Aristocrats, and then the other ones aren't as important. The Cursed Keeper and the Fading Icon aren't quite as important, but there's something that you still definitely want to include in your deck. And then that's how, you keep the payoff going, right? Your Blighted Caretakers, your Chronicler of Ruins, and your card draw cards, whatever the Spirit Leech is. They have to have the unit on board to get activated, and these kind of help you guarantee that. And so, if you really go out of your way to get these early game units, you pick up your removal spells and then just allow these kind of self-sacrifice cards to fall to you, then you've done a pretty good job. Because the real weaknesses to this style of deck is getting the right numbers on the cards that you want. That's why control decks tend to be a lot weaker than aggro decks and Expedition and historically in any limited format, and that you need the right composition of a lot of cards in your deck. If we're just playing an aggro deck, there's not a whole lot of difference between having your Legion Rearguard and then the dude that pings, and then like the 2/1 that last press to a Reach Forge. They can, in a lot of decks, those can all essentially be the same unit. But in a deck like this, there is a humongous difference between having a Hapless Aristocrat and having a Warden's Prey, or having Mage Seeker Conservator, or the like that. And so you do need to get like very specific quantities of very specific cards. And so you are looking essentially for those those 3 units. You're going to try to find like 6 or 8 of these kind of mid-game removal spells. We went big on Unspeakable Horror here, but you're looking at your single combat, your Unspeakable Horror, your Black Spears. This is where you'd have your like Grasp of the Undyings, your Vile Feasts. If you're going into the Demacia side, your single combats, your Dragon single combats, these kind of like non-guaranteed removal spells, 6 to 8's where you're looking at here. I would kind of consider Sharp Sight to be one, and to a lesser degree consider Blighted Caretaker to be one. Then, after that, you most certainly want to find 2 or 3 Vengeances. Doesn't have to be Vengeance. Could be Crumble. Could be whatever this dude down here is called. The Ether Fiend. You don't really want it to be Captain Erika, but hey, that's what we take when we get, to pick 30 in the trial, and we don't have a hard removal spell yet. And so, beyond that, it's just a matter of making sure your curve looks good, ideally finding some kind of late game unit in case something goes wrong with your Kindred. And so if you find, whatever, Epic, Captain Ladros, Rasa, you can find your Eclipse Dragon-y kind of units, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just something to help close out the game in the event that Kindred doesn't go right or you don't draw him. And then just have a good curve. It's not that bad. It's not that hard, right? but first and foremost, the big thing I want to drive home, if you really need to kind of tier these things off, Hapless Aristocrat, Cursed Keeper, Fading Icon would be tier 1. Your removal spells would be tier 2, and then finding that like 1 or 2 big dudes for the end of the game would be kind of tier 3, and then you can just let these self-sacrifice cards fall to you. It's very hard to get to the end of the trial without picking up 2 or 3 between like Chronicler of Ruin, Spirit Leech, Glimpse Beyond, whatever, Ethereal Remitter. These cards will show up at some point in the trial, and you do want some of them, but you don't need to go like super out of your way to find them. The one you'll go out of your way to find is Blighted Caretaker. But yeah, felt like that's pretty good. That was a pretty nice Kindred run. Hopefully we don't have to do dirty things like that ever again, because nobody wants to see anybody play Kindred, am I right? And so let's get in here. We'll click on these rewards. We'll call it a day. Cold resistance, huh? Not my style. Give me a, a Catalyst of the Aeons. Okay, the anniversary rewards. Cool. Looks like we get a little loot box. Extend out the. Oh, it's just essences. Oh, I thought we were gonna get to pick a card. No complaints from me though. Oh, maybe we did get one. Yay. So what do we get? Well, none of these are units, and so we have to go to the spells. Hold the Infinite puts a unit in your hand, and so I think we should probably go ahead and take that one. Surprised we haven't hit that yet. I guess we haven't been drafting too much as far as invokes are involved here recently. Okay, and then for the weekly vault, all the bonus capsules. We've been playing all these Lab of Legends. Fantastic way to complete some quests, get some bonuses if you're new to the game and don't have much of a collection. Good stuff. If we hit a champion, I'm not sure if we've. I guess we have. I don't think we have all the champions now, like all the new ones. I mean, I haven't been playing any constructed, so I haven't gone out and crafted them. But I don't think we've opened them in Expedition either. It's like we're getting. I think the new cards. I don't think they'll come out a weekish, 10-dayish. Hey, there's a champion. Go us. What up, Lysandra? But yeah, it seems like sometimes there's 3 weeks between patches and sometimes there's 2. And so I know that like the 2.7 patch should be the new cards, and the 2.6 patch just came out on like Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever patches come out. And so it should be upcoming, but who knows? I haven't seen the Twitter hype and the Reddit hype yet for all for all of the releases, and so we'll see. But alrighty, looks like that will do it for us today. I hope you all enjoyed the trial. You maybe learned how to slay your opponents a little bit better. You learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.